Um, the Quran, we have Madani and Makki. What does it mean? In the Quran, we have Nasikh and Mansukh. What does it mean? Muhkam wa Mutashabah. How I'm going to know whether this ayah, it is metaphoric, it's an analogy, symbolic, more than is giving us the real meaning? What are the tools? And based on what? Also in Quranic studies, we can go over certain cosmetic things in the Quran. Yani, the order of the surahs, who put them this way? More than that, we can also discuss Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim portion of every surah? Is it an ayah by itself? Is it embedded within another ayah? So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Is that an ayah or no? Two ayahs, or Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is not an ayah like according to some Sunni school of thought. This is also about Quran. Also in the Quran we talk about al-Misdaq. What's al-Misdaq? Yani, when we talk asbab al-nuzul, those later on inshallah you will catch up with those meaning. Asbab al-nuzul is when I say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. What was the reason this surah was delivered? Oh, there is a story. What's that story? How authentic? It's also important. Why it's important? Because the reason behind this ayah was delivered can affect my understanding of the meaning of what? Of the ayah. Okay, how I'm gonna make sure that the reason behind the delivery of the ayah or that verse is authentic? Asbab al-Nuzul, the stories, are they authentic or not? And how to prove that? Another topic we'll discuss inshallah. I'm giving you just topics. Hadith. Can the hadith override the ayah? يعني مثلا عندنا بالقرآن وورث سليمان داود, isn't it? يعني he inherited Dawood. And the Quran said, for instance, in another ayah, وَلِلذَّكَرِ مِثْلُ حَظِّ الْأُنْثَيَيْنِ. يعني in Islam, the female and male, the kids I'm talking, the kids, okay, they inherit from the parents. But all of a sudden, Al-Khalifa Abu Bakr comes in. Oh, you are the daughter of the Prophet. Yes, Fatima said, I inherit my dad. He said, no, 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 no. We have hadith that says, according to him, okay, we prophets, we do not let our kids inherit from us any money or, just name it. But this is against Quran. Which one we should believe? The hadith of the Quran or the Quran? So those topics are very important. Very important. Al-Misdaq. What's Al-Misdaq? I was discussing it. The ayah said, for instance, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا, or وَالنَّبَأَ الْعَظِيمِ. Some people, they say, oh, this was delivered and it is referring to this person. We say, yeah, but the overall meaning does not. We say this is al-misdaq or al-jari. Al-misdaq means if there is someone representing a good reference to this ayah, is that person. But literally was not delivered because of that person. We're going to study this. We're going to see it a lot. Okay? We're going to see it a lot. And just name it. And on the top of all this, and this is very major, we're going to start it a little bit today. Two things. How to prove that this Quran is the ultimate miracle, everlasting miracle. Second, we as Shia, what are our proofs that Quran is genuine and authentic? And how do we look at negligible opinions that they claim it is not. This is a big deal nowadays, and it has been. We as Shia believe this is our Quran, not modified, not tampered with. We have a group of ahadith among Sunnah and Shia. It's a questionable. How are we going to handle that? And do we have scholars as Muslims, Sunnah and Shia, have different opinions? So those are some of the topics, inshallah, we're going to be discussing on what? Monday. On Saturday will be pure tafsir. We're going to take the ayah, finish it, the second ayah, the third ayah. Any questions before we get started? Would you like to add any idea or topic?
Last year we did the last 20 minutes of tafsir with questions, and then the topics from the questions were like the next session.
Yes. We are gonna dedicate a certain amount of the lecture for questions and answers, and we can make it related to the topic or off the topic. I don't mind it, but the priority first for the topic.
The topic then can relate to Monday.
Yes. Yeah. No problem. We'll do that. I mean, if we ran out of time, we can discuss it on Monday as well. Any other suggestion? Yes.
So if one can't make it Saturday or whenever, how can you ask them?
This is over Facebook, and we are gonna put it on my YouTube channel as well. Yes, if they don't block it. Yeah, I don't own that infrastructure. Any other question? Okay, in the beginning, we're gonna start with Al-Quran. Why do we consider Al-Quran mu'jiz? Look, I get several convert. Like last week, I get several converted to Islam. Several people. Okay? When I say several, that it's not one, okay? So several people converting to Islam. And usually one of the questions I truly ask is the comparison between the history of the Bible and how it was put together, and the history of the Quran and how it was delivered and put together. And this is a very major question. It's very important. Anyone would like to share with us anything about how the Bible was put together? Would you help us put that link on our group, or is it difficult? Okay. The Bible, how was put together? And one of the things, before we come to the Bible or the Quran, isn't Allah is wise? Yes. Per Christians, per Muslims, per Jews, Allah is what? Wise. He's the absolute wisdom, isn't it? Isn't that God a caring God? Yes, for sure He cares. Does He love us? Yes. Does He care about us? Yes. Does He want us to be protected? Yes. Therefore, He sent us what? Two things. The prophets with their scriptures, books, holy books, and embedded in us special level of comprehension and rational thinking. We don't see it in other animals. I'm talking about deep level. Evolve, not evolve, different story. But we have it. Okay? Our species, after Homo sapiens, we have it. So now, if God is wise and strong, capable, omni-knowing, omnipresent, isn't that based on His wisdom, He has to deliver to humanity a book that is a set of guidelines that should help humanity and at the same time stay forever intact? Yes, it's common sense. Otherwise, why you want to believe in God? If there is no clear manual, guidelines from God that you trust, how are you going to believe in God anymore? Isn't it? Any question? You agree with that? So we say God has to have, because He is wise, because He is capable, because He is strong, because He knows everything, He has to deliver to humanity what? A sacred book that can help human beings. And that book should not be altered. And the idea of that book is not about high tech or biology or chemistry or physics. Humanity is going to reach that level. It's about something that keeps us human and in a balanced way. That's why in the Quran, we read in Surah Al-Baqarah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. He did not say Hudan lil Muttaqin. He said Hudan lil Muttaqin. He did not say scientific book. What did he say? One of the important things of the Kitab, Hudan lil Muttaqin. يعني the major role, one of the major roles of the Quran is what? To guide us, to make us feel comfortable, to keep us a human, to keep us on the right path. That means people with less stress, less problems, less, issues, less dysfunctional families, less. You can go to a doctor, seek out certain medication, but those tangible issues, it could be easy to fix. What's hard to fix and find the proper recipes is what? Inside, the inner. You see a rich person, not satisfied. A married person, not satisfied. A working person, not satisfied. A person has so many things in life, he is not satisfied, worried, afraid, in trouble. He feels like his life is upside down. Why? Something is missing. We say the Quran comes in Hudan lil-Muttaqin. Why Hudan lil-Muttaqin? Because if you do not believe in Quran and you do not follow the Quran, what's the advantage of the book anymore? You have to believe, obey in order to see the result. It's like you go to the, you subscribe to the gym, but you don't go there. But you know what? I'm paying for the gym. Ya Habibi, you have to go to the gym. It's not just about, having lifetime membership. Okay? You have to get active. You're not going to lose weight just because you have a gym membership, isn't it? So I have the Quran at home or on my phone. Does not mean you are from al-Muttaqin. Does not mean you are going to benefit from the Quran. You have to interact with it. Is that clear? So now back to my story. That book has to be there. That is intact. I trust it is from God. I feel comfortable when I read it. It gives me the solutions that I'm looking for. It gives me tranquility. It gives me the state of peace. It gives me solutions. It's not only about metaphysical. It gives me solutions on earth. How to improve justice. How to seek justice. How to apply justice. Isn't it? If it is only about metaphysical things, then why you are testing me for 89 years? Why don't you take me to your heaven day one and make it easy on me? Because I'm lost. It's not the case. Questions before we continue? Any questions? Now we come to the Bible. This is a quick comparison. Okay, hopefully we finish it before our next session, inshallah, on Saturday. Just think with me. What was the language of Jesus? Aramaic, for sure, is not English, isn't it? Good. The Bible we are reading nowadays, and it's not Latin. No problem. It is not bad. Okay? It was not Latin. It was not English. You agree with me? Right? The Bible that we have nowadays, the oldest copy, or nowadays copy now in the state, What is it usually? Either Latin or English. طب حبيبي خلينا ناخذ الانجليش. يعني one of the convert before he get into Islam, he said, Sheikh, why do you call God Allah? Allah is different entity. We'll discuss this later on. He said, no, Allah is not different. God is in German is not God. In French is not God. Okay, this is in English. Anyway, and the word Allah is mentioned even in the Bible under the name of Elohim. Okay, we'll talk about it later on, inshallah, when we discuss Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So the Bible is in English, we have it, or Latin. What was the language of Jesus? Neither of those. First question, did Jesus write the Bible? No. None of the Christians believe in this. Did Jesus supervise the written copy of the Bible? No. Did he point out for certain additions or versions to be accepted? No. Did the Catholic Church, after years, burned so many copies of the Bible and just kept those we have nowadays? Yes. Did they rejected certain Bibles? Yes, so many. Who gave them the authority to burn Bibles and keep those? Based on what? Is there any direct, authentic guidelines from Jesus? No. Okay, that's one. That's a problem. You agree with me? Second, when it comes to the Bible, what's the language? As I said, was not English, was not Latin. Look now at the English language. We have archaic English, isn't it? We have Old English. Shall I compare thee to summer days, thou art more lovely, more temperate? Shakespeare, isn't it? You read what it's talking about. We have English, we have modern English, we have very modern English. So it keeps it changing, and even the way you write things is changing. Shall I compare thee? Now we call shall I compare you? Oh, big difference. Okay? So English language is changing. Latin was also not the language. When I translate Quran from Arabic to English, you think I have a problems or not? I do have a problem. Because it's my understanding. And that's why I always advise, when you want to translate Quran, read several translations, not just one or two or three, especially if it's a critical ayah. Okay, because a person will say this is an analogy, a person will say no, this is literally the meaning of it. It's bad. Or a person is translating it based on his school of thought. There's another problem. And that's not right. So anyway, look, even the language is changing. Language itself is changing. The words are changing. What about the meaning? That's a different story. While in Islam, now look at the difference. In Islam, when the Quran was delivered to the Prophet has assigned the group of Sahaba, and one of them, and the major one among them, Ali ibn Abi Talib. And in our school of thought, Ali ibn Abi Talib, ma'soom, infallible. Their job is to write the Quran and memorize the Quran. And the Quran was explained to them. And on the top of all that, the Prophet said, after me, I'm leaving among you this hadith is hadith mutawatir among Muslims. يعني مش Shia hadith or Sunni hadith. All the Muslims believe in this hadith. You know what's mutawatir, isn't it? Mutawatir, that means not one person narrated this or two or three. Groups and the groups and the groups of people. In every level, there is a group of narration, there is a group of people. Not all pointing to one reference. No, no. It's almost impossible to be considered what? Lying. It's impossible. يعني مثل واحد all the social media, all the news, all the newspaper, all of them, they said this event happened, and all of a sudden one guy said, no, I don't believe in this. Yeah, Habibi, does not make sense. Yani social media, the good news media, the bad good, just name it. All of them, except you. So here we say at-tawatur is way stronger than your doubt. Okay? So anyway, the Prophet said, after me, I'm leaving among you two things. Till the judgment day. Two things. Quran and Ahl al-Bayt, household of the Prophet. They are going to stay in parallel till the judgment day. Halla, so far we are about 1,400 years after the death of the Prophet and more. Till now, we have Quran and Imam Mahdi. What a miracle. That's by itself, the hadith is a miracle. And the Prophet emphasized on that, and he said, after me, according to Sunnah and Shia, we are going to get what? You are going to get 12 Khalifa. We say Imams, they say Khalifa. Or Amir, depends on their resources. And after the Prophet, what's the advantage of those? Also to continue the explanation of the Quran when the language is getting developed and more ideas coming to Arabia, okay? And also to guarantee that the generations are memorizing the proper Quran. In the time of Jesus, peace be upon him, he did not supervise any of this. In Islam, subhanallah, the Prophet assigned people right away. They used to memorize it. They used to write it. And he said, after me, we have 12 Imam. They are going to continue protecting this Quran and explaining it. Okay? And they are going to always be alongside with the Quran. And always the Quran is what? A reference. And on the top of all that, brothers and sisters, the language of the Quran is still the same language. ما عندنا نحن version 1 of the Quran or version 2. We don't have this. It is the same way it was written in the time of the Prophet. We still carrying the same way it is written or it has been written. This is amazing. Now as-salah, we make it, let's say, with alif, okay? And in the Quran, because it was old way written, we put waw, and on the top of it what? Alif. We kept the shape, even the shape. Till now we read Quran, we understand the words. And some words are difficult, but most of it, we understand it. ما عنا إذا نحن بالإنجليزي ذي صارت يو. نحن بعد اليو يو والهي والشي شي. We did not change that much. بعد نفس الشيء. Same thing. And this is a powerful thing. And yet, the most amazing thing is the proof from the Quran itself. The Quran made a clear promise. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We indeed firmly delivered the Quran and we protected. Wow. 1,400 years.
That's a miracle within itself.
That's a miracle by itself. Same addition. Same copy. Same language. Same stopping point. Same stopping point. Where is that in the Bible? And I told you one time, if you go to a website, go to Google it, put Birmingham Quran in Britain. Birmingham, مش Birmingham, Michigan. Birmingham Quran in Britain. You are going to see a copy of several pages of the end of Surah Maryam, Mary, and because we believe in Mary, okay? And after it, the beginning of Surah Taha, Birmingham edition of the Quran. It was carbon tested and dated back to the time of the Prophet or just after his death. And this is not by Muslims. This is by other scientists. I don't know, scientists. I don't know if you have your phone. Can you see it? Did you see it? This, I can read it normally. Yani the only thing, we don't have Fatha or Kasra because this is a new. But to make it easier on us. But you can read it. You can see Taha. It says this is an ayah. No, yeah, we don't have, well, a little bit of nu'at, but it's not like nowadays.
I have a question.
Yes.
If everybody agrees that,
But first, is the topic clear? Questions about it? So this is very important difference between the preservation of the Bible and the Quran. It's a clear cut. It's a very clear cut. Okay? Yani another thing in the Quran, and this is very, the Quran is all about what? To prove there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger. It is in the Quran. No question about it. Very clear. In the Bible, you see so many, twisted translations. Go ahead. Your questions. I'm going to now stop here. Later on, inshallah, we'll discuss why the Quran is a miracle. In addition to the way it was preserved, why it is a miracle. And we're going to bring some scientific facts, balagha, eloquence, and things like that. Okay? We stop here now. We go with the questions and answers. Yes?